The Arroyo Seco is a little stream that runs from the foothills of the San Gabriel Valley down to Los Angeles, passing through Pasadena along the way. The Arroyo Channel is a stream of community consciousness that starts here in Pasadena and goes out to the world, passing through your television along the way. Let's drop a line into that stream and see what we come up with. People come from all over the Pasadena area to share their ideas, their passions, and their creative pursuits right here on the Arroyo Channel. At Pasadena Media, we offer training and hands-on experience to help those people turn those ideas into television programs like the one you're watching right now. With me today is LV Smith, producer and host of Sounds Within here on the Arroyo Channel. Thank you for joining me, LV.
Indeed, Chevelle.
All right, let's go ahead and shake hands.
Why not?
It's been a while. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about your experience here as a producer, as a volunteer, and as a host, and have you drop some of your gems of wisdom on people who are interested in doing what it is you do. So to start off with, how did you hear about the Arroyo Channel?
Like most people, stumble on the Arroyo Channel, you see a little advertisement, come and learn how to make TV. I said, yeah, right, well, let's give it a run. And so I did.
Okay, how long ago was that?
Okay, that was around 2010.
Okay, and you've been pretty much running ever since.
Oh yeah, run harder each year.
So what was the first experience you had, the first class, when you started your training?
The very first class was a little filmmaking class, which made me fall in love with film editing.
Okay.
Then they said, well, it's about time you start hosting your show too, and so I did.
Okay. What is your show about?
Okay, it's a magazine about sound. Sound affects people one way or another. People use it as a profession. Some folks use it as a form of release to express, and some people just plain use it to manipulate. So.
And the name of your show is Sounds Within. So
Sounds Within.
How'd you come up with that title?
Sounds within us.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Is there a particular formula you use for the format for your show, or do you just go in there and see what happens?
Well, I like to keep it open because, okay, one time I had a person who says, I like to hear the sound of my auto shop machines going off. It means this and that. I see what comes out at the end of it. I remember some people who are educators who use sound to get what they want out of their students or whatever in business, how to get people to sign the dotted line. And then, of course, there are the others, such as spoken word, music, you name it. Okay. I leave it open.
Well, we actually put together a few clips from your show.
You didn't.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We went and dug through, and Jared snagged some of his favorites. I think he just kind of grabbed them at random. But I'm sure it was all very curated, and he did it very diligently and with purpose. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at some of those clips from Sounds Within, produced and hosted by LV Smith.
Hi, I'm LV Smith, host of the show Sounds Within, which comes on every Friday, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. What was the very first sound that motivated you to become a writer?
I think the failure of beliefs, and the failure of beliefs that led to grief.
So what sound was that?
Grief. The
Sound of
sadness.
grief. Wow. Woo! I thought I was going to hear something like silence or something, but grief, that's powerful.
No, the silence is a big part of this, but yeah, I think it was what motivated me.
Yes.
The sounds of human suffering, yeah.
That's deep.
There is one thing that I know. You're the one I want with me as we navigate life's stormy seas. Just by your side or in your arms. There's no place I'd rather be than here with you next to me.
I kind of understood, but I didn't really understand. And then I connected sounds that I heard during the night. These sounds were sounds of dogs, but it was different from the sounds of the dogs I heard when my grandfather and uncles went hunting. These sounds were very different. And I remember waking up crying and shaking and sometimes screaming, because I knew that the sound of the lynching was the sound that precipitated the sadness in the household.
She promised me nothing. She kept her word. And told me she loved me once. Guess that's all I heard. She's not cruel, not unkind. Never really lied, she just changed her mind. She's not cruel, not unkind. No, never really lied, she just changed her mind. She never really lied, she just changed her mind. Never really lied, she just changed her mind.
Okay, so there was a lot going on in that clip. There's a lot of different clips from a lot of different stuff, and all of it is sound related, which leads me to this question. How is it you decide what it is you're going to put in an episode or each episode?
It really depends who, in reality, the talent is available. But when I sit down and sculpt it, and now with more clients coming in, I say, oh, great. We had too much music. I want spoken word. We need history for women's history. Or it could be awareness of being differently challenged. So there's all realms of how sound affects us, as well as the challenge of being not able to hear sound at all.
So have you done a show on that as well?
It's coming.
So, okay, I'm looking forward to that one. What is it that you enjoy most about your show?
I like a lot working with the people I work with. I have a great crew to work with, which we all are volunteers. So for some folks, it's kind of hard to scare up, but I put together a formula which works very well for me, where I like working with people. I like to share ideas on how we learn how to edit and things like that. So
working with the people.
Yeah, I like working with good people.
That kind of makes sense. Being community media, you've built a community around your project, which seems to be making it work for you. And you can see what comes out of it when, at the end of the day, it runs on the air and people at home are watching, and you got people coming now saying they want to be on your show. So that's got to count for something.
It helps. Besides, they have talent. I like to get on my show too.
Excellent. It's fair exchange.
Fair exchange.
So what do you think others enjoy the most about your show? Why should somebody want to work with you? We're talking about volunteers wanting to work with your show, the guests wanting to be on your show, and also the audience that might be viewing your show.
I don't know about the audience, because you hear feedback from some folks, who pretty much follow you, but a lot of times you could put out little promos and hope they reach. Do they hit like on Facebook or Instagram or whatever? But the thing I think is important is putting a positive vibe out where people want to come with you. We all may be the best performer in the world, but if you were like, I am all this and blah, blah, and you do this and that, chances are people will not want to be on your show.
Okay.
Like, bring some food.
That does help. Everybody likes to nibble once in a while. Do you remember the first show that you produced?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Okay, tell me how you think you've grown since that first show, and what are some of the things that help you to develop into the producer you are right now?
There's another producer that really helped me get going, and that's Smile Lady. She gave me the formula how to be organized, how to work with production staff, how to set up to make things work. I also remember that what may not work in a live shooting, we could then fix in post-production. That's where editing comes in. And then when you work their shows, you learn by working their shows too. I learned a lot working on shows such as MC Franklin's show, who he works with Jeff Hodge, who have Thursday Night Live. I learned so much about how to really step up presentation.
And I actually do want to talk to you a little bit about working on other people's shows, because that is a very key component in making all of this on the Arroyo Channel work.
Indeed.
But before we do that, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go too far. I've got a few more questions for LV, and we also have a new volunteer who will be joining us on the set after the next segment to share her experiences as a volunteer for the Arroyo Channel. Don't go away.
Bye, Janet. It's nice seeing you again. You a good girl. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, to help me, she'd have to help every day. Every hour, every ouch, every time my wife calls for help. I mean, maybe she could help me make her lunch. But the crust, all the crust has to be cut off the corners. She could help me run to the doctor for the 5th time this week. Help me with the specialist and the second opinions and the painful paperwork about paperwork. Help me deal with how hard it is seeing my wife's name on so much paperwork. But this is on me. I'm the only one who can do this, like this, for her. Besides,
Take care.
we will. Janet doesn't like her cooking anyway.
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. The pressure's too much. I quit. I get it. I can do better. Just please don't leave.
Don't let your heart quit on you. Get your uncontrolled high blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
With us, we are here talking to LV Smith, and why don't we jump right back into it? Before the
Indeed.
break, we were talking about people that have helped you out as a producer, and you mentioned Smile Lady, and then you also went into volunteering on shows with and for other producers. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that, because when you first came, you were helping a lot of producers. You didn't just come right in the gate producing your own show.
That's how I learned.
Yeah, okay. And I'm assuming you also took the training classes.
That's the only way I could do it.
That's right, okay. So how do you think that being a volunteer on programs enriches the volunteers, and how has it helped you specifically?
Well, I'm going to be bold. I'm going to lay out the truth on this one. I enjoyed work, as I mentioned before. I liked working with other people on their show. And then at the time, there was staff working the show. And then they were going to make the transition where it's going to be all volunteer. And I was running around in circles. What am I going to do? I'm stranded. And Jared came. I said, LV, you don't have a thing to worry about. I go, what do you mean? I said, look at all the people working your show. They like working with you. You treat them with respect. You feed them and stuff, and you work their shows. I bet if you keep doing that, they'll come. I found out I have not yet have had a show canceled through lack of volunteers. And so when MC said, look, I'll work your show, will you work mine? I was there. Then there was the Now Man. He was always working my show. James Jones on Anybody Could Play Guitar. He worked everybody's show, so no one even knew he had a show. So I said, I owe these people. So when someone takes a vacation, there's always someone else who takes someone else's place. So we just said, look, we'll work anyone's show as long as they work with us. It's just a fair exchange, walking the walk.
Putting your money where your mouth is. And you keep bringing up that you feed the people. So I'm guessing that's a pretty important component for you and your show.
Yeah, well, no, for most people. It's just a sense like, okay, one guy, one person at a time didn't have a place to live. This person would go put money out of his pocket and feed the crew. That says a lot. It doesn't so much have to be you feed the people, but you have to give back something in return what they would want to come back. Maybe you may not be a person of means. So maybe just supporting that person, say, how can I help you do this? How can I help you do that? Can I help you edit?
Okay. I'm glad that you mentioned editing, because there's your show in particular, you use a lot of chroma key, you shoot a lot on the green screen, you put in your own backgrounds, and you kind of, I guess, taught yourself a lot of that along the way. You know, a little bit of coaching from a few folk hither and thither, but...
Don Rapella, I miss you, brother. And you too, Chevelle.
Okay.
The staff here, the paid staff and administration will go all the way possible to try to make things work. Being on a shoestring budget that you are on, I cannot say thank you enough for all you do. It's challenges for some of the things that come about. It's hard to adapt to some changes, but you always work hard. The whole staff works hard to try to see us through those changes where we still produce, and I'm still producing.
Do you find it easier to do it? Because you do a lot of editing. Do you find that that's an easier way for you to create your show, or is it necessary for the type of show that you do? Or do you think you're going to try to go live straight through a couple of times? Hey, you're shaking your head.
I mean, yes, I could do a live through, a straight shoot through, but there's always going to be something I could fix. And since it's not a live, unless it's a major live event, no, I'd rather do post-produce. And the crew does teach people how to edit.
Okay.
And volunteers teach each other too.
All right. Well, I've got one last question for you. What do you think is the value in having a place like Pasadena Media and the Arroyo Channel for people in the community of Pasadena to create and display their creative vision?
Speaking for me, priceless. Because chances are I may not hit the big networks. That's okay. I learned how to do something. If I had to protect myself and go back to work, I could work as an editor or something.
All right, excellent. Well, I want to thank you for joining me here on the set,
Indeed.
LV. I appreciate it. One of Pasadena Media's finest producers. I'm going to
That's
say that about
fortunate.
every producer, but
Yeah.
you get it today because you're here in the chair.
Because I'm in the chair.
Because you're in the chair, the hot seat. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, don't go away. We have a new producer. There's still more to come with one of our newest producers. Karen Muranko will join us here on the Arroyo Profiles.
Helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Not everybody here at the Arroyo Channel has their own show. All of our producers were volunteers at one point in time, and I have Karen Muranko, one of our newest volunteers, here now to share. Thank you for sitting in with me.
Oh, thanks, Chevelle. It's nice to meet you. Happy to be here.
All right. And you are a brand new volunteer.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Brand new, as of this past Saturday.
So how did you hear about Pasadena Media?
I happened to hear from Sophia Russell Hartz. I met her just about a week and a half ago. She mentioned the orientation, and it's like just in the nick of time. So I did orientation this past Saturday, and I've done classes every night this week. So now I'm here volunteering, and I'm talent.
Yeah, so it's been about a week that you've been involved here with Pasadena.
Yeah, May 8th I did, it was whatever Saturday was, so it's Saturday, and then all this week I've been taking classes, and I did teleprompting for, what was her name? I did a teleprompting for the first show the other day.
Okay. So you've volunteered on one show prior to this?
Yes.
Okay, so anybody can do this. You just come in the door on Saturday, you're running equipment on Wednesday.
Right.
That's how it works. Okay, awesome. What do you plan to do now that you are here?
Well, you know, I've wanted to have a show for a long time. I had some physical issues, and I wasn't really feeling confident. But now that I'm feeling more confident again, and it's just, I believe in divine intervention. I have my confidence back. I'm usually kind of almost borderline cocky. And I meet Sophia, I find out about Pasadena Media Center, and I'm just diving in.
Okay, and you've already mentioned you volunteered. I think I was running around the same day, and that was Alice Muhammad's show.
Alice, yes. Thank you,
I
Alice's
think she does
show.
1 or 2 shows when she records.
Yeah, she just did one this time,
She
and
did
she had
one?
a lot
Okay.
of had a lot of roll-in. So.
Yeah. What was that experience like for you volunteering on that show?
Well, I enjoyed it because, I mean, I like meeting different people, and then after you're done volunteering or whatever, I had a chance to talk to Alice and more about what she's been doing. And in my opinion, the more people I talk to, the more I can learn. Mm-hmm. And also make connections, because I might need someone's help when I'm going to be doing my show.
Mm-hmm. And so you've pretty much got that show idea in your head ready to go.
It's been locked and loaded for 2.5 years.
Okay, good to know, good to know. So we'll look forward to seeing that. You said that you've run teleprompter. Have you operated any other crew positions prior to, or I guess it's just that day and today?
No, actually, it's been quite a while, but I was a makeup artist for primarily indie television. So, you know, you learn about set protocol, and sometimes if there's short staff, makeup artists also have to, you know, take care of the talent, set protocol, things like that. So I have that prior experience, and I think that helps me because I have an understanding of certain things, but I'm learning that some things have changed.
Yeah, I'm learning that too.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the things that are different here versus what you've seen in the past at other places?
Well, I mean, like for one, I mean, technology is the big thing. So I think it's been at least 10 years since I did makeup, and like the SD drive.
The SD card.
When I first saw one of those, I'm like, really? That holds memory? So I mean, I'm a boomer, so I have to learn all the technology.
Do you think that the technology presents a hurdle for most people, or do you think it's something that is manageable and people can overcome if they're willing to?
Well, I took a class last night on that. I think it's totally manageable. I mean, everything's it's easy. Well, I thought it was easy.
We like to make it easy.
Yeah.
We try to make it as easy as possible. So looking forward, I'm expecting you will be creating your show. You're going to be volunteering on more shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
So far, how has your experience been?
It's been wonderful.
Okay.
I mean, talking with the volunteers, meeting new people. I've actually, Melody Trice, who has a show, I'm emailing with her about doing her show next weekend, so I'm having a great time.
All right, so let me ask you, what do you think is the value in having a place like Pasadena Media and the Arroyo Channel for people in the community?
Well, I think because, I mean, if a person wants to do this on their own, it's really difficult making connections, you know, finding people, all the crew. So really here, it's a full package deal. And as you get to know people, you'll feel comfortable having them on your, you know, as one of your crew. And it becomes like a little family.
Yes, it does. And you are now a part of the family, so welcome to the family.
Thanks, Chevelle.
It's a pleasure
Thank
to
you for
have you
having
here.
me.
And I expect you'll probably be on again in the not too distant future. I'm assuming they'll have me back again hosting the show. And then as you progress, we'll try to keep track and see what happens when you become a producer and create your own show.
I appreciate that.
In the meantime, I'm afraid that is all the time we have for this edition of Arroyo Profiles. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. If you're interested in learning more, you can find Pasadena Media through all the usual social media platforms. For those of you who want to do more than like, follow, and subscribe, head over to our website and you can get involved. As you've already heard, we offer training for anyone interested in learning about television production. Whether you're interested in pushing the buttons or pushing your point of view, it all starts with an orientation and tour. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the Arroyo Channel.